I don't know what it is lately with this train symbolism, but I feel like lately when I am coming on to start doing a recording, there's a train that I hear in the background. And like I've said, there is a train not too far from where I am right now. So while this isn't completely unusual, I still don't hear it super often, maybe just a couple times a day. So I feel like there is some kind of synchronicity there. And for some reason, I'm getting a few messages from that train symbolism right away. And one message that I got is progression forward. So the train could be symbolizing your progress forward or something progressing forward. Although I just really do strongly feel that this is you as an individual progressing forward in your life. And I'm actually getting the word accelerating. Now, another message I was getting from the train is, well, first of all, I heard something about Polar Express, which of course is a Christmas movie, and it is very seasonal given that it is the month of December as of when I'm recording this video. So maybe that movie is significant, but I heard past, present, future connection. And for some reason, I was getting this imagery of like a train that takes you, it's like almost time traveling, that takes you through past, present, and future versions of yourself. And something about this symbolism, when it just came through as a download just now, felt really dreamlike, almost sort of like some kind of fantasy, but I also got the word illusion. So for some of you, the lines between your past, present, and future self may be feeling very blurry at this time. And I also heard open threads. Maybe you feel like you have a lot of open threads of energy with different people, like from your past or your present, or maybe even your future, all kind of like pulling on you in different ways. I'm not really sure how that's going to relate for someone. That definitely seems like a really quantum message. So we will see if that comes up later on in the reading. But it's interesting. I'm talking about all of this, but this isn't the reason that I came on tonight. And the reason I came on with this reading is actually because of a dream that I had. And this dream was unlike any dream I've had in quite a while. And so it felt almost prophetic for the collective, or at least a group in the collective that will relate to this dream. I felt like it carried a really strong message in it. And so the dream that I had, and I'm trying to remember it in as vivid detail as I can. And so the dream that I had was I saw a man and a woman, and this could represent a masculine and a feminine. It doesn't have to be necessarily related to a certain gender, but there could be a masculine energy and a feminine energy. And I saw that they were like walking and talking, and they were in some kind of city. And it was a relatively big city because some of the buildings were really large, and they were walking through some kind of atrium that I almost want to say was maybe a museum, like an art museum, or it's funny, I'm laughing because my guide said, well, maybe a history museum, because this may be someone that you have a history with. And so I feel like I'm hearing digging up ancient history. That word ancient is actually giving me past life energy. So that's telling me you may actually have a very ancient history with this soul. And I'm hearing stunted, like you have an ancient history and you've had some kind of connection point in this physical lifetime, but the progression of your bond physically was stunted somehow. That's what I'm picking up on here. And so now it's like you're in this dream walking through this history museum, we'll say, or an art museum, which I guess art represents like inspiration, being someone's muse, and history represents like the past that you have either collectively, globally, or with a certain person. And so I see both of those elements combined in your connection with this person, that you both have the art element, like you both are each other's muse in some way or inspire each other. I'm hearing you understand each other. I'm getting so many goosebumps just channeling into this. I feel this person saying, no one ever understood me the way that you did. And I also hear them saying, no one ever saw me the way that you did. And what this tells me is, I'm seeing clouds in my mind's eye also. What this tells me is a lot of time has passed, most likely, since you've communicated with this person. And yet something powerful lingers for them. I heard the word transmission. Maybe this dream in itself was like some sort of soul transmission. It's almost like their soul is making a transmission to you psychically or reaching out to you in some kind of way. I'm hearing saying what they can't. And what I'm getting is, so you inspire each other, but you also have a history. But I'm getting that, I heard the word unspoken. A lot of your history with this person is unspoken. So I feel that in this lifetime, you may have a very unspoken history, meaning, yes, you may have connected or spent time together, but it feels like most things that you felt for each other were never put into words. They were never communicated, or in some cases, I'm hearing like on this person's end, they may have never even really allowed themselves to fully consciously register the thoughts and the feelings that they were having for you, because I'm hearing, I just couldn't go there. Like for some reason, they couldn't go there. They couldn't allow themselves to go there. There's some kind of wall or barrier here is what I'm getting. I'm hearing go back to sleep. It's almost like this person put themselves back to sleep after the two of you disconnected, or maybe that's why you disconnected. But now they're stirring in their sleep spiritually, and they're remembering you, and they're thinking of the fact that you are the only one who ever really saw them or understood them, and it's troubling them. It's creating this restlessness within them. And so maybe just like I had this dream, well, there's more to the dream that I need to get into. I'm just getting so excited about unpacking these details, but let's talk about the rest of the dream first, and then we will channel more into maybe the potential meanings or the details. Although I feel that for a lot of you listening, you already know what the details mean for you personally. So anyway, what I'm really getting is that in the dream, let's go back to the dream before I go into the meaning, because there are just so many downloads about this person, well, really from this person, that are coming through. So in the rest of the dream, you were walking around, and there was this moment where you were sharing some kind of romantic moment, and there was a way that like you looked at each other that was really soft and romantic, and I'm hearing different, like you were gazing at each other, and I feel that you leaned into the moment and tried to kiss this person, but then suddenly it's almost like they snapped back into reality and they pulled away and like looked really confused or even surprised that you were leaning in for the kiss, even though that was clearly where the moment was heading. And then there was like some unspoken, almost like a telepathy that passed between you, where you felt this person wondering like, should we be doing this? Or aren't you still dating this other person or with this other person? And suddenly you were like shaking your head no and telling them like, no, I'm not with them. Like I'm not with this other person, or like we're not together anymore, or I am available for this. Now, of course, the roles could be reversed. Maybe it's the other person here that is telling you that they're available for this, or maybe like vice versa. I just feel that like one person tried to kiss the other pulled away startled because they felt like they were getting lost in the moment, but that it for some reason wasn't like moral or right for you to be kissing because one of you was still involved with someone else. But then it's like it was a miscommunication, and the other is trying to clear up that miscommunication by saying, no, like I'm not with that person, or I'm not with them anymore. Like I don't have that commitment to them. So that is pretty much the dream. I heard something about stained glass windows. So that may be significant to someone. And I'm not sure how this dream relates for you personally, but I am hoping that if it does connect for you, this reading does find you. But there has to be a reason that this person is coming through and trying to transmit some kind of message to your psyche. And there was so much coming up. Like after I had this dream, I was journaling about it. And some of the things I was journaling about is about how this person has been thinking of you really heavily, how they never forgot you, even if they made it seem like they did. But maybe the most significant thing that came through about them was that they have some kind of secret connection to you, or like a way of staying connected to you that does feel very shrouded in secrecy. It feels like something that for some reason they don't really want to admit or be open about, or they are hoping that you don't know about it or other people don't know about it, almost like they would be embarrassed if other people knew that they were still actively connecting themselves to you in this way. And I feel that another thing, I knew there was something else here. Another thing that came through around this person is they are so confused why they are still thinking about you, why you still resurface in their mind. And I'm hearing in their dreams as well. So if you find yourself dreaming about this person from time to time, I feel like the message here is that they are dreaming about you as well. And they can't really understand why, but I also got the words unfinished business. So I feel as though something is very unfinished between the two of you and has been for a long time. But just like that train imagery that we got at the beginning of the reading, you've been accelerating, you've been moving forward, and they've been feeling that, they've been sensing that. And it's almost like making them come back into your consciousness or into your psyche. And I get that for some of you, this person may actually have a habit of doing this, meaning anytime you level up, anytime you shift realities, or you take some kind of leap of faith in your life, or start like really, I don't know, like leveling up your energy in some way or your life in some way, I get the sense that this person feels it on a spiritual level and they respond to it. And one way that they seem to respond to it is by suddenly like transmitting this psychic signal to you that then you start picking up on by like dreaming about them, or suddenly thinking about them, or feeling waves of emotion. The thing I get about you in this energy is, the strange thing is, for the collective I'm speaking to here, you may actually go long periods of time without feeling this person's energy at all. But every time you think it's gone, it never is. I feel that you may go like weeks or months, or in some cases even years, and maybe you won't even think about this person. And then all of the sudden, they're back in your mind, in your energy, in your emotions. And it just begs the question, why? But again, the answer seems to be this unfinished work. The frustration for you is, I feel that the unfinished work is on this person's end. It's not really something that you can preemptively do for them. It's something that they have to do. Well, first I'm hearing for themselves. I feel that in order to complete this unfinished business with you, there may be something that they have to do for themselves, like maybe some kind of cycle they have to close out, or some kind of positive change they need to make. I'm hearing to like clear the space for reconnection with you. And it's not something that you can force on your end. So until this person does that work on their side, I feel that things will continue to remain feeling like this unfinished business that we've been talking about. But I do want to pull some cards about this situation to channel more deeply into it. So I'm going to pull from the traditional tarot cards. By the way, this is so random, but my guides keep telling me this may be significant. And prior to this reading, I stubbed my pinky toe. And I know that's really, really random, but I feel that for some of you, this may be relevant in some kind of way. And I am also going to be channeling into a potential spiritual meaning from this for the reading. Yes. Okay. It could represent small details you're overlooking, root chakra instability themes. So your foundation may need recalibration. Divine disruption. Oh, that feels like the strongest hit of a download coming through around this is that, yeah, sometimes stubbing a toe is the universe's mischievous way of interrupting a thought pattern or momentum that's not serving you, like a glitch in the matrix, a nudge to break autopilot or catch a different frequency. So I feel a few different messages around this when it comes to this person. The first message I get is like, I feel that your energy comes in to interrupt this person in their spiritual sleep. Like I said earlier, it's almost like they were trying to put themselves back to sleep spiritually. And I feel for some of you, they may have done that for a while. I'm hearing something about like 2 to 3, and then some period of time, like 2 to 3 weeks, months, or years, depending on your circumstances. That won't be for everyone. But I feel that for a period of time, they tried to put themselves back to sleep. And during that time, you may not have felt them for a while. Things may have been, if I can speak, things may have went very quiet for you. And you may have not felt their energy. And I'm hearing you may have thought you were free of their energy. But the moment they started stirring in that spiritual sleep that they were in, it's like they started remembering and recalling you, because I'm hearing that you are the only divine being that they've ever encountered in a physical human form, meaning you are the only one they've ever encountered that holds this level of consciousness and like awakened energy. And it's literally unforgettable to them. But I'm also getting that with that stubbing toe metaphor and this concept of a divine disruption, that this is a very mirrored dynamic, because it seems that this person interrupts you as well. Like you may be in your power, in your beauty, your magnetism, in like a good energy. And then suddenly a wave of emotion, or like I keep getting something about a dream connection, which of course makes sense because this whole channeling started with a dream that I had last night. But I feel that for so many of you, this person's energy comes in to like interrupt you when you're really leveling up, when you're in your flow state, not to pull you back, but it's just like because of the way that the two of you are spiritually connected. And I keep getting the word protective. I feel like this person's very protective of you, but because of the way that you're connected spiritually, what happens is whenever you level up, this person feels it and it makes them want to reach out, like at least psychically, if not physically. I have to tell you, I feel like this person uses every ounce of restraint not to reach out to you physically. And it's probably so frustrating from your end because you can feel them reaching out to you every way, but physically. Let's be honest, like they're reaching out spiritually, psychically, energetically. You feel them stirring in this spiritual sleep, thinking about you, feeling all of these things about you. I'm hearing for some of you, you may have been so overwhelmed by this energy when these like waves of emotion would come in that you would try to reach out to like psychic readers or tarot readers to give you a personal reading on the situation because it was getting so overwhelming. And of course, you are very intuitively connected and your intuition is very strong. But for some reason with this person, it feels like I'm seeing someone like trying to do a reading for themselves and just feeling increasingly confused. I feel like it's very difficult for you to get clarity internally, even though your intuition is usually very strong and on point. And whenever you would reach out to psychics or external tarot readers, you may have found that it was equally frustrating, if not more so, where like every reader would give you a different answer. And I'm hearing it's because in this particular instance, it's almost like there's a divine blockage up to you being able to predict how things are going to go with this person because this bond is so protected. Like it's so spiritually protected that in essence, even your own intuition is being protected from it. Like you aren't even fully able to sense into it intuitively because I keep seeing some kind of huge wall there. And it's there to somehow protect or preserve this bond because it is sacred. I'm hearing so much more sacred than you even know, even though you probably are aware of the sacred nature of this bond. But I'm hearing it's even more sacred than that, even more than you're consciously aware of. So I want to see if there are any more messages coming through from this particular person or energy. So I can't believe we're 20 minutes in and we haven't even pulled a card. I guess that just speaks to how powerful this energy is. So what can I channel here? I heard Jezebel, like a Jezebel spirit. And although it's funny as well, because I never really use that wording. I'm not sure I've ever used, like, I hear other readers talk about the Jezebel spirit, but I don't usually reference it. I'm actually going to look it up because, okay, so it describes manipulating power structures, intimidating and silencing prophets, using seduction and control to influence, spiritual corruption, manipulation, silencing the truth. I feel like there is a Jezebel spirit around this person or who has been around them. And again, this won't be for everyone, but this feels like an energy. Maybe it was internal for some of them, but I feel for many of them it was external or is external. A person or an energy that would silence their intuition or like veer them off course from opening up to you further or completing this unfinished business that your souls seem to have between the two of you. And this has led to a distortion, and it's part of why you felt so unsure about this connection or so intuitively blocked to even really understanding what it is. The reason is because, well, there's a few reasons. One is because it is so sacred that it's very divinely protected. And so there's this wall that goes up. Like if you try to read into all of the details of this, it's almost like that knowledge would somehow alter the way that this connection would unfold itself naturally in real time. And so you are being protected from that happening, from it changing the course of how this connection ultimately would unfold in physical reality. Like something about having that knowledge would alter the outcome. It reminds me of that principle in physics about how when you observe something, it changes its behavior. And I'm definitely no physics expert, but it's interesting that's coming up here because I feel there's something about having a concrete knowledge about what this really is that would somehow alter how it unfolds or how it spiritually opens or activates both of you in the process. But with this Jezebel spirit, this is kind of like the other side of this equation here. The other reason that it's so confusing for you is because this person has some kind of spirit or energy or person around them, or it's an energy within them that is silencing their intuition and is causing them to heavily restrain themselves from doing and saying what they want to do and say towards you. So this person in their spirit is being so heavily pushed to say certain things to you, to like, I'm hearing to some kind of confession, to reaching out if there's been a silence. And yet because of this Jezebel spirit, like within them or externally, like silencing them, they are like continuously pushing against that intuitive push. It's like two opposing forces within them. And so the reason you're so confused is you often sense this person reaching out every way but physically because they are so heavily restraining themselves from reaching out physically. So you feel how much restraint it's taking within them. Like they're barely holding themselves back from being able to contact you or reach out or like whatever the case is. And you're feeling all of that. But I'm getting that even when or if you've tried to reach out to this person to kind of like bridge that gap, the thing is, even in those cases, I feel like you are still left confused, and sometimes even more so, because I feel like when you do reach out to this person, they meet you with, I'm hearing like a coy kind of nature or like playing it cool or something like that. Even then, they won't be open with you. And that's what I mean when I say the unfinished business between your souls can't be done on your end. because I feel like you are doing all of the right things for yourself. You are growing, you are accelerating, and this person is receiving these like continuous wake-up calls from their own spirit, and they are the one who needs to release whatever this Jezebel spirit is. For some of them, this could actually be a person that they are in a relationship with, or some kind of like connection or marriage. This could be a family member, a friend. It could show up internally or in many ways in their life, but there's something in their life that is somehow inhibiting or blocking them from moving forward on how their intuition is guiding them to take action towards you. And that is the thing that they must release or close out in their own life to clear the space for this connection to potentially move forward. But I get with the Two of Wands reversed, which, yes, is the first and only card we've pulled so far in this reading, but this is about them being afraid of the unknown. And let's just face it, you are a beautiful divine being. You are a glitch in the matrix. If someone is going to be connecting with you, they better be ready to embrace the unknown, because you do not come with certainty. You wake people up to their true self, and that is not a path that comes with certainty. And this person is still trying to anchor their consciousness to something that feels certain for them. They're afraid to like launch out into the deep, into the unknown. But that is exactly where it's almost like you are this literal like siren metaphor, which is of course reminding me of my song where I wrote, I was a siren calling you into the depths of yourself. That's from my song, Go On to New York, which is on Spotify if you want to listen to it. But I feel like you are this like siren archetype that is not like luring in a negative way, because we often think of the siren as negative, but I feel like you're taking back that archetype because you are a spiritual siren that like calls people out into the deep of themselves and into the unknown, yes, but into more freedom and depth and a higher level of consciousness. And so what I'm picking up is like really deep down, like the place you're calling this person is where their spirit and their soul is calling them, but they're afraid to go there. And that kind of circles me back to the beginning of this reading where I said, like, they're scared to go there. Like I kept getting that from their headspace. Like, I'm scared to go there. I can't go there. Yeah, they're so trying to be so risk adverse that it's almost like they're so afraid of taking a risk that they are entrapping themselves in like the greatest risk of all. I'm getting that quote about how like the greatest risk of all is to never let yourself fully like, or your dreams like fully be born into the world of consciousness. Or like, I know that's not exactly the quote, but I've heard about like, there's a quote about how the greatest risk is never fully being alive and never fully letting yourself express. And I feel that is the risk that this person is taking because they're so risk adverse in so many other ways, or at least their conscious mind is telling them it's too risky to explore the depths of like themselves and higher levels of consciousness. And it's like, whenever I tap into that in this person, I see that being so intertwined with you. So it's like, when they're avoiding you, they're avoiding an elevation in their own consciousness. And when they're connecting with you, they're connecting with a higher level of their own consciousness. And when they won't reach out to you, it's because like they're trying to silence their own intuition. Like, you see what I'm saying? Something about this person's spiritual growth and evolution is so connected to them and like their connection with you. And maybe that is like the secret connection that we were talking about earlier. Although I feel for many of you, it goes more literal than that, because I feel that for many of you, this person has like some kind of link to you, whether it's like, maybe it's a literal link, like they can see you online, maybe they see your social media, or maybe they are aware of certain things that you're posting or creating, even though you don't know that they're watching those platforms. Maybe they are connected to like a mutual friend that they get information from, or I'm hearing like a family member for some of you, or like there may be like, there's some source that this person uses to get like just the smallest dose of your energy. And it is very incremental. Like it's a very small dose of your energy, but they are so craving your energy that even that smallest hit of just like having a photo of you or a small snippet of information about you feels so deeply meaningful to this person. So I don't know who needed to hear this message, but I hope it found you. I feel like that is everything that wants to come through this transmission. Have a beautiful day, and I will connect with you in the next reading.